Hope and Marilyn Maxwell. They would sing Silver Bells as a duet. Now the movie took place in the city, and the director of the movie was very specific with Livingston and Evans. He said, you know, we got a lot of songs about dashing through the snow out in the countryside. This movie's in the city. Write us a song about the city. How long did it take Jay Livingston to get city into this song? The first word. I guess he wanted that paycheck, right? Yeah, he really did. So it was wonderful, appropriate for the city. And that brings me to my next question. So it was written about very specific silver bells. Which ones? Not sleigh bells. Not church bells. Great guess. Salvation Army. So now you know why you're singing on every street corner you'll hear silver bells. Now I came over this morning from home in Marshfield, and in Marshfield we have street corners. That's not where the Salvation Army sets up. Do you know where they set up? Right outside the door of the supermarket. Do you know how guilty this one feels when he comes out with his bag of treats? And there they are, shivering in the cold. You have to put something in. Okay, so there's the story behind number 95. And it was a beautiful, 94. It's a beautiful, beautiful little duet. City sidewalks, city sidewalks, Christmas holidays, sun. In the air there's a feeling of Christmas. Children laughing, people passing, making smile after smile. And on every street corner will be silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Ring a ring, hear the ring. Soon it will be Christmas Day. Strings of street lights, even stoplights, the bright red and green, as the shoppers rush home with their treasures. Hear the snow crunch, see the kids lunch, as the Santa's be seen, like a ball is not so he'll be. Silver bells, silver bells, it's Christmas time in the city. Ring a ring, hear the ring. Soon it will be Christmas Day. And of course, you know I got the duet from my friend over here in the front row, right? So we actually had a duet going there. Yes?
37.
37. For those who have your hands up, keep your finger in that page. I will get back to you. We'll be a little busy at the beginning, but then we'll quiet down at some point. So I don't need to do the word traditional. You know that now. This time we know this spiritual came from an African-American bunkhouse in the southeastern part of the United States, and it came in the early 1800s, and we don't know what year. And if you were a slave, using that word, working on a plantation, there were good times and there were bad times. There were the hard days of work, several of them in the row, and then the residents in that bunkhouse would come up with a beautiful song called the blues, because boy did they have the blues. And then there would be a lucky time, maybe around Thanksgiving or around Christmas, where the plantation owner might be kind and even give a day off of work and some extra food treats. And boy, that would pick up the spirits of the residents of the bunkhouse. And they created music called spirituals. Now, 80% of the spirituals created in those bunkhouses were lost forever, because the people living there couldn't write them down. They didn't know how to write music. They, in some cases, didn't know how to write words. But fortunately, in the late 1800s, the Fisk Jubilee singers created books of songs that they rescued from stories of people who could sing them and perform them for them. So let's say you and I were residents in that bunkhouse. The way this would work is, and I'm going to start with me, because I know I'm the only sinner in the room. So I would start, when I was a sinner, I prayed both night and day, and then everybody would do the go tell it on the mountain. Right? And then somebody else would go, when I was an actress, I acted both night and day. And then everybody would go tell it on the mountain. somebody would go, when I was a filmographer, everybody loved my work. And then everybody would do, and you'd go all the way around the room. And by the time all of us added a verse, we'd all have memorized the song. And that's the way they learned it. So they didn't need to write it down. They couldn't, but they didn't need to write it down. So there's your little lesson on spirituals and blues and great music from the American Songbook. Only a little bit of it. Here it is. When I was a sinner, I paid both my